today. Not a washout, but a little bit more moisture to deal with. Similar story on your Friday. Gusty afternoon thunderstorms possible.
Well, good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome to the News Now. I'm Cyria Sandlin. Thanks for joining us. We are starting off with a pretty cloudy, gray day. Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin to see how our weather is looking. Good morning, Cutter.
Yeah, good morning, Cyria. Definitely the big picture, not just the coastal empire, not just the low country. Pretty much all of the southeast is socked in with the cloud cover this morning, including the state of Georgia, but most of it is just cloud cover. There's not that much rain on WTOC First Alert Live radar. That is to our west in Mississippi and Alabama. Remember this time yesterday, storms flared up. They moved into our neck of the woods. It was kind of a wet night across the area. We're starting to see that same process occur again, though not quite as organized. So this round may approach our area this evening and into tonight like yesterday's, but not quite as widespread, a little bit more scattered, a little bit weaker. And ahead of that rainfall activity late today, we do have the chance of an isolated pop-up shower through the morning commute. Roadways already damp to wet, and there is some fog out there with low visibility. So just keep that in mind. Not the worst commute, but what hurt to plan an extra few minutes in. This afternoon, an isolated rain chance at the beaches, scattered rain chance inland, and heat haters. A little bit cooler today, mid to upper 70s, not as many 80s, but still well warmer than we should be this time of year. Humidity still elevated as well. Let's talk about your stormcast today. Again, some of those storms trying to edge in from West Georgia, so a 1 out of 5 marginal risk of some gusty storms south and west of Savannah, south of the Altamaha, and maybe north and west of 84 this afternoon, this evening. We all have a chance, a 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather tomorrow. We're talking scattered storms. Not everyone sees them, but what is there could produce some gusty wind. So I want you to pay a little extra close attention to your Friday forecast, specifically midday on into early evening. Keep severe weather alerts turned on in your WTOC weather app. And then we're done. Finally, the cold front moves through later Friday. Chilly weekend, but increasing sunshine, drier air, and a breeze. I'm going to be detailing these weather changes, including an even stronger cold front next week coming up in the digital weather forecast, the Weather Now at 11 a.m. Talking traffic right now, the WTOC Jay McSino traffic tracker is on the move. We've been in the South Carolina low country and not seeing too much of an issue. And right now, again, the live look, notice that roadways are damp, the sky is gray, but at this spot, the conditions aren't too bad, not enough to really slow you down this morning. Now, as we go over to the drive times coming in from the east side of town, Victory Drive 80, Islands Expressway to Truman Parkway 9 minutes, Truman Parkway to Abercorn 4, and Abercorn to 37th, that's taking you an additional 4. If you're coming out of Effingham County, maybe the west side as well, 21, 95 to 516, that's taking you 11 minutes. 80 eastbound, 95 to West Bay, 11 minutes, and it's a pretty quick trip. It's starting to slow, 16 at 95, but 95 to 516, that stretch is taking you 6 minutes.
We are still following breaking news out of Southern California this morning. 13 people are dead after sheriffs in Ventura County say a gunman opened fire in a crowded bar. One of those 13 is a sergeant with the sheriff's office who is responding to the scene. Another is the suspect. This happened around 11:30 p.m. Pacific time at Borderline Bar, which is in Ventura County, about 40 miles west of L.A. We've learned there were hundreds of people in that bar at the time. Several of them say they've been through this before.
Unfortunately, it's the second time in about a year and a month that this has happened. I was at the Las Vegas Route 91 mass shooting, as well as probably 50 or 60 others who are in the building at the same time as me tonight. It's a big thing for us. You know, we all are a big family, and unfortunately, this family got hit twice.
Authorities are not identifying the gunman or saying how they died. No other information on the victims is yet known. We'll be sure to keep you updated. Also, some more breaking news. This just into the newsroom. Brian Kemp will hold a news conference in just 2 hours at the Capitol building in Atlanta. He'll discuss transitioning the state's governorship from Nathan Deal. We got this from Governor Nathan Deal's office. Now, there is still no official word about who will be the next governor of Georgia. Kemp says based on the numbers, he won. Democrat Stacey Abrams' campaign says she won't concede, knowing there were about 25,000 votes, including 3,000 absentee and 22,000 provisional votes still being counted. Also today, there will be an initial hearing in a federal lawsuit against Kemp. That begins today. 5 Georgia residents want a judge to block him from having any further role in the elections administration. So again, Governor Nathan Deal and Governor-elect Brian Kemp will be holding a news conference today that is at 10 this morning. We will, of course, keep you updated. Well, it looks like at least one of our statewide races is headed to a runoff. Republican candidate Brad Raffensperger and Democratic candidate John Barrow both gained 49% of the votes, with 100% of the precincts reporting. The Libertarian candidate Smith Duval had 2% of the votes. Moving to the Low Country, we are hearing from the woman who lost a historic race. Republican Katie Arrington conceded to Democrat Joe Cunningham in the race for Congress in South Carolina's 1st District. This is the first time in 37 years a Democrat will hold the seat. In a speech yesterday, she blamed Mark Sanford for her loss. She defeated Sanford in the primaries. He did not endorse her.
We lost because Mark Sanford could not understand that this was about the conservative movement and not him.
Sanford responded, he says, endorsements don't make or break campaigns. Well, Beaufort County officials say they can explain why it took so long to post election results. Tuesday marked the first election the Board of Registration and voters used a manual system to import votes. The office stopped sending results electronically with the modem because of security concerns. Now, Director Marie Small says nothing specific happened to cause the change. Workers are now verifying every result before the board certifies them tomorrow. And closing arguments start this morning in the trial of a Savannah man accused of causing the fatal crash that injured 3 people and killed R. Don Lagana. Law enforcement investigators and forensic and medical experts took the stand yesterday. Once the state rested its case, the defendant, Cleveland Coleman, took the stand to testify. Coleman told jurors he believes he was in the pickup truck the night of the crash, but would have asked someone else to drive because he has a history of driving with a suspended license. The Chatham County Savannah Metropolitan Planning Commission will be holding an open house tonight to talk about expanding the Mid-City zoning district. That proposed expansion would push the district west to include properties east of MLK Jr. Boulevard. It is at 6 p.m. at the MPC offices on State Street. Well, if you or someone you know is a veteran looking for a job, you have the chance to find work in about an hour. The Georgia Department of Labor is partnering up with Hunter Army Airfield to host a job fair in Savannah. That's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Savannah Career Center on White Bluff Road. Well, the Savannah Food and Wine Festival continues tonight with 2 of its most popular events. Tonight is the Grand Reserve Tasting at the Westin Savannah Harbor. That event is sold out, but you can still go to the Railroad Museum for the Secret Savannah Speakeasy. Saturday is, of course, the main event, Taste of Savannah. I'll have a look at all the events happening over the next few weeks and talk to one of the main chefs involved. All on Savannah Weekend tonight on the news at 5. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. I want to read some of your comments really quickly here. Again, we are following that breaking news out of California. 13 people are dead. That includes the gunman and a sheriff's sergeant who had been on the force for 29 years and was planning to retire in the next year. And, of course, we are following the big governor's race. That is going to have some more updates at about 10 a.m. when Governor Deal and Governor-elect Brian Kemp, that is what the press release said, will be having a news conference at 10 a.m. All right, well, we will be back again at 10 a.m. with more updates. We'll see you then. Have a good day.